Hello everybody, thank you for watching my very first video where I'm going to be sharing with you my own experiences with anxiety and just overall mental health and my struggles with it. But first, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched my initial video, and thank you to all of my subscribers. I think I'm over 20. Holy cow. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, thank you. And we have like over 200 views, which is crazy to me because I don't even know 200 people. So that's mind-blowing. So thank you for supporting the community. This community in particular, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and it's good to know that other people are listening and watching and we're being heard. This session, I'll be talking about traveling with anxiety, also traveling with a baby. I'm a military wife, so my husband is gone quite often and he can be gone at the drop of a dime. My parents, thank God, God bless their hearts, they travel with us a lot, so I'll be discussing how they play a part in this too. Now, let me say this, I do not have a degree in psychology. I have no degree in psych, none whatsoever, but I do have a lot of experiences with anxiety and dealing with it and suffering with it. That being said, I have been clinically diagnosed with CPTSD, ADHD, GAD, MDD, major depressive disorder, adjustment disorder, which was one that I never heard of until I saw my psychiatrist. After my son was born, the psychiatrist told me when I want to talk to him about major depressive disorder along with postpartum disorder. He said it didn't matter if I had postpartum disorder because it's all the same. It's all depression, and no matter what, it's going to be given, you're going to be given a blanket medication. So even if he did throw on my chart, yes, she has postpartum depression, what does that change? Changes nothing. With that being said, I want to show you something. This recent visit I had up north, I got really nervous right before we had to travel back down. And I decided that I was going to journal, and I was going to go ahead and write down what I felt were irrational fears at the time. So as soon as I heard that we were going to be traveling, my mind kicks into overdrive, and this is what happens. First thought, we are going to die. First thing I wrote here, we are going to die. No joke. Second thing that I'm afraid of, Elijah is going to die in an accident. That's my son. The third thing, the car is going to flip, someone is going to crash into us, and we're going to die, or we will be trapped in the vehicle and we will not be able to out. These are all fears that I have, or thoughts that I have before getting into the vehicle with my son. These thoughts that I have as soon as I hear, oh, we gotta travel, or we gotta get on a plane, or we gotta go here, or especially when my son is going to be traveling with me, I have this, it's a domino effect. It's physical. I have the physical effects, the racing heart, the tense muscles, then it goes to the thoughts, intrusive thoughts. Then from the intrusive thoughts, it goes over to my mood, and that mood will project out to others, where it starts to come out as what I call, we'll get into that. So why am I so scared? I'm sure some of you will watch this and be like, it's so ridiculous, like eye roll, right? Why am I so scared to travel? With post-traumatic stress disorder or complex CPTSD or PTSD, my therapist explained it to me this way. In my case, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, worst case scenario has already happened. So in my mind, it's gonna happen again. When I was younger, we rolled up on an accident. We were the first on a scene, and there was a young girl who was behind the wheel. I will never forget the image that I saw when we walked up to the car to see if she needed help. From then on, it fueled. It got more intense when it was time to get behind the wheel or go, without being too graphic. So those are what some would call triggers. To this day, every time we drive past that scene, that's what I think of, and I get that physical feeling. I think its worst case scenario is a big part of why I have this major fear or why my anxiety fuels. I think another part of that is I know I'm going to be uncomfortable, but I don't know what it's going to feel like. It's the unknown, and I know I'm not going to like how I'm going to feel. I know I'm not going to like the physical effects. So it's basically, I know it's coming, I don't want to do it, it's going to be yucky, it's going to freaking suck, I'm going to be nervous, I'm going to be worried, the worst thing's going to happen. It's a lot. The effects that the anxiety and these fears, I'll call them because they are, the effects that the fear and anxiety have on me physically. For example, zero sleep. It's one of two things. It's either I get no sleep at all, or I'm sleeping too much. The other thing will be I'm not eating. That sucks, because when I finally do make it to my destination, or for example, this happened recently. I went on a trip and I was so stressed out from it. For a week I was stressed. I would sit for days, wasn't eating, or I was binge eating. And when I arrived, I hugged one of my relatives, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, you're so skinny." Like, and I know she didn't mean anything by it. So if you watch this and you didn't know it was you, it's nothing. But it made me feel, the first thing I thought in my head was, if you only knew why I was so skinny, because I'm so stressed out right now. The nail biting, holy cow, that is my current situation right now. Biting your nails until they're just broken and your cuticles are bleeding. Horrible. I'm looking down this entire time looking at my nails because, like I said, that's my current situation right now. Another effect is just the tense muscles. When I feel that way, or when I have anxiety, it's kind of like hangry. I'm telling you, being hangry is a real thing, especially when you have anxiety. It can definitely fuel your emotions. It can definitely play on it. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. When I am feeling tense, I don't feel good. Like, I just want you to step away from me. I don't come near me. I don't feel good. It's very, it's easy to read. And last but not least, dehydration is another one for me. Because I wasn't drinking or I wasn't eating, I have been hospitalized. I want to say two times. I remember for sure. It was for dehydration, but I know that it was because at that time I was going through something. I wasn't eating, I wasn't taking care of myself properly. I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking. I was working out way more than I should have been because of my anxiety and kind of want to say a little OCD. But anywho, so those are just some physical effects that it has had on me. The mental side of it, for me, it's intrusive thoughts. A girlfriend of mine, she gave me a term. She calls them daymares. And these intrusive thoughts or these daymares for me prior to a trip or leading up to a trip is I will have these images, and it sounds so crazy and morbid, but these intrusive thoughts or images of we're gonna die. We're gonna die. As you can see, that was the first thing I wrote on this list. And then I'll picture it, I'll vision it, I'll picture my son, my family, whoever's traveling with us. Most of the times I'm envisioning like a horrible accident and we're not able to survive, or I'm watching it like from above or from a third party perspective, and then I realize, oh my god, I'm literally spending so much time thinking about this, having this daymare. I'll be driving, or it's prior to the trip, or it's during the trip when I'm driving. I feel it right now as I'm talking about it. You feel that tightness in your chest. You feel that tremble, that shake in your voice, and you're just like feeding into it hardcore, 100%. And once it starts affecting my body, then it starts affecting me with others, or my interaction with others, or I start to lash out very easily. when I'm feeling this way, and that's what I call mode. When it affects my feelings and my mood and I go into that mode, I lash out, and then most of the times I retreat. I go to sleep because I feel that sleep is literally the only thing that can save me at that point in time. Sleep is not us being lazy or avoiding responsibility. It's me resting my mind that's overworked, that's loud, that's tired, that's busy. Your mind never stops when you have anxiety. You're constantly thinking about something, what's going to happen, what happened, what will happen, what could happen, what did happen, constantly. So that's how it is when I'm going to travel, or while I am traveling. Being told, oh, you're just hiding, or oh, you're just going to bed, or sleep is me resting my overworked, tired, loud, busy mind. That's the only way I can shut it off. It's survival mode. Being told otherwise is hurtful. It's not helpful. Being told that I'm lazy, or that we are being lazy because we're sleeping too much. Like I said earlier, that's one of the physical effects. Too much sleep. Well, for me, it's because I'm trying to rest. I'm trying to recuperate. I'm trying to decompress, anything. What can you do if you know somebody, or you recognize these symptoms in someone that you love, or that you know, or that you travel with? The thing that helps me the most when I get into these, what I call bitch modes, or when we are traveling, is for my family to not take it personal. One thing that you can do is do not take it personal. And I know it's easier said than done. My anxiety and everything along with it has caused so much conflict between my family and I growing up. Now that I'm older, I'm able to look back. I'm able to see, and now I kind of feel that there's quite a bit, tremendous amount of regret, because I see that I missed out on a lot. What can you do to somebody, I know, to help somebody who's suffering and going through this? Like I said, it's easier said than done. Try not to take it personal. When we lash out, I know, it's like saying, oh, well, you have an excuse to be this raging, you have an excuse to just lash out, or have an attitude, or act whatever way you want because of your anxiety. I know it sounds horrible, but it's kind of true. It's not us. We are not our anxiety. That is just a feeling. It's a mood. We know that. We're working on it. We need to use our skills. I need to use my skills. My parents are complete rock stars. My mom and I, we still butt heads. I will say that. I love you, Mom, dearly. And I understand where she's coming from. My mom has dealt with me and my anxiety the most, because my mom and I are the closest. For her, I can't tell you how many times she's asked, like, well, how come you can act like this? Or why can you say this without me taking offense to it? Or why can you lash out and me not take offense? And it really is, you do lash out to the people that you love the most. My dad, that man, it's my dad. He kind of lets it roll off his shoulder, whatever. He'll give me the look like, all right, come on, chill out, calm down, you're fine. But my family lets me roll through it. They get it, they understand. It took years of therapy. It took years of them attending sessions with me for the therapist to kind of better explain to them, hey guys, when she's lashing out this way, it's not because she's mad or she's angry. It's something underlying. She's uncomfortable. She's scared. It's fear. This is just the way that it's coming out, is with anger. And I know a lot of you suffer from that. I know you do. I guess I want to say, overall, to my family, I apologize for everything that I missed out. And I see now that I'm older, now that I have a child, all these fears, variables that I have, that I'm terrified of happening. I know no, most cases these fears are irrational and that they wouldn't happen. On the way down here, when I made that list, one of the things on the list that I was afraid somebody was going to hit us. We had a caravan. We had my vehicle and my dad was following us in the vehicle behind us. In my vehicle, I was traveling with Elijah because another thing of my anxiety is I have to drive. Whatever vehicle my child is in, unless my husband is traveling with me, most of the time he's not, but I have to be in control. I have to be in the driver's seat, and it's a control thing. But we were on our way down here. I was in the front. I hear this screeching sound, and I know it's tires, and I look over and I see this car just spinning, 4 tires off the ground, spinning, and it looks like, the way I will see it in my rearview mirror, so it just looks like it's going away from us. And I immediately look up because I'm trying to see where my dad is going, because he's the type of man that's going to pull over and offer help. But I think because we had a child, he didn't. So he calls 911, and when we got to the rest stop, we talked about it. He's like, that vehicle, just like that, could have taken us out, because if it wanted to come this way, that would have been it. And I'm thinking, exactly, that was one of my fears when I saw that happen. I was like, holy cow, I was right. These are my irrational fears that I have, and it just fueled the anxiety even more. So I kid you not, the entire way I was like white knuckling it. My anxiety plays a huge role in traveling. Makes me uncomfortable. I hate it. I really do. I wish I did travel more. I feel bad. I regret it because I feel that I'm depriving my son of so much. But he's just a baby still. But I have a lot of regret. I know I missed out on a lot of time with family, and a lot of family members are getting older and they're sick. So I'm doing this for you guys. I feel like I owe it to y'all. I hope that this helps. If you know somebody who gets a little extra, moody right before a flight, or you guys get on the road, maybe you'll better understand them, or you'll be able to say, hey, how can I help you? Or, I notice you seem a little overwhelmed right now. Is there anything that I can do? Or if you're the one who's having the panic, one thing that works for me is, I feel that I'm always having to explain myself. So when I am feeling overwhelmed, I will say, hey, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. Can you do this for me? It would be a great help. Recognizing that you can be really angry or raging or lashing out, recognizing that, and being apologetic for it is always a plus, but understanding why you were that way and then being able to explain that to others who are around you, I think is necessary, and I think that we owe it to those that we love. So with that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. Thanks again to my new subscribers. Find me on Instagram. I do believe it's momster.87. So thanks again. I appreciate you all. Much love, and God bless.